Goeiedag, hoe gaat dit? My name is Wildkard. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching my content. I really do appreciate it. It is that time of the year again. It is the November International Test Series. It is the Northerners versus the Southerners. It is time. It is time to reclaim some pride for the Southerner sides, to reclaim the coveted #1 rank in the world. And the only team, unfortunately, has the opportunity to reclaim that #1 position in the world is the mighty Springboks. Yes, the Wallabies have no chance, and the All Blacks, unfortunately, has a pretty easy schedule this year. They already play France and Ireland last year, so they're not going to play the two teams, the two top-ranked teams in the world. So even if they win all of their test matches, they're not likely going to be getting to that #1 rank. But the mighty Springboks, on behalf of all the Southerner rugby fans, please clean sweep the Northerners and regain some pride, some Southerner pride. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it, to regain some Southerner pride for all of us fans down here. And yeah, huge task against the Springboks. Obviously, Rassie Erasmus himself is overseeing the team. The Springboks are also traveling with a B team on the side who will be playing against two club rugby teams in Europe. And yeah, overall, the Springboks is looking to build towards our Rugby World Cup. Rassie Erasmus has come out and said they have cut off some of the more experienced players, some of the older players. Francois Steyn and Dwayne Vermeulen have all been cut from the squad, as they very clearly stated they want to give some of the younger players some more time on the field, building into that Rugby World Cup. So obviously the Springboks like I just mentioned, has a really tough schedule this November. First up is Ireland, currently ranked #1 in the world after beating New Zealand in that historic July International Test Series, winning a Test Series away in New Zealand, really saw them skyrocket to the #1 spot. Second up, the France Six Nation Grand Slam champions, unbeaten for a very long time now, in fact. And yeah, France is going to be the second stop for the Springboks. Then Springboks gets a break with Italy, and finally finish off the tour with the old enemy, England, at Twickenham, in front of, a sold-out English crowd. This will be a huge finish to the Springbok camp. So if the Springboks beats either Ireland or France, it'll come down to this England match to potentially still putting the Springbok team back in the #1 spot. And also I was gonna say maybe if the Wallabies beats France could help out the Springboks a little bit, but that's not gonna happen. Let's just be realistic. That is not gonna happen. Unless we get a South African referee or something, but that is not going to happen. We're not going to beat France this weekend. So yeah, all hopes are for the Springboks to reclaim some pride for the Southerner sides. So yes, let's quickly look at the men that has been entrusted to carry the Southerner pride to the North, to take back the #1 rankings for the South Africans. So first up in the propping positions, we've got Steven Kitshoff. Kitsy comes in most like, I've just put the teams, the numbers on the potential number they're going to be wearing in this list as well. So Kitsy is most likely going to be wearing the number 17 jersey. He is the reserve loose air prop. He's going to be that finisher for the Springboks, that bomb squad member on the bench, most likely. He has been starting a little bit in the Rugby Championship as well, but most likely, knowing Rassie Erasmus, he would like to stick to his game plan going into the Rugby World Cup, especially against France. This will be a perfect chance for him to test his strategies that he wants to employ, getting the players playing the positions that he most likely will put them in the Rugby World Cup. So Kitsy will most likely be at loose at number 17 jersey, on the bench for that finishing bomb squad. 67 test caps, 30 years of age, 183 centimeters, 123 kilograms of pure mass. Frans Malherbe will come in at most likely at number 3 jersey for the Springboks. The veteran nowadays, he has been absolute, the rock, the backbone of the Springbok scrummaging. He's the starting scrum tight head for the Springboks for a very long time now. He had a bit of injury last year, but he's back in form. this year in the Rugby Championship, done really well for the Springboks. 54 test caps, 31 years of age, 190 centimeters, quite a tall man for a tight head prop, and 138 pure mass of destruction. Franz Herbe comes in at number 3. In the next up, we've got Ox Inche. Most likely, he's very likely going to be playing either the 1 jersey or he's very likely going to be swapped between Trevor Nyakani for the number 1 jersey at some point, as we saw in the Rugby Championship. He played like a couple games, and Nyakani started off the championship, and then Inche kind of like finished off the championship at the number 1 jersey. But most likely, we probably might see the same thing in this tour. The two players swapping out that number 1 jersey between themselves. Inche comes in and 15 test caps, 27 years of age, 175 centimeters and 117 kilograms. He's absolutely walking boulder. He's just width. The width of this man is just tremendous. And as we mentioned, the other guy that he will be tag teaming for the number 1 jersey is Trevor Nyakani. Comes in at 56 test caps, 33 years of age, 178 centimeters, 121 kilos. Again, this guy is also just a boulder with giant guy on the field, walking around. Absolutely scary guys on the field there. Thomas Dutoy most likely been an injury reserve. He hasn't. I think he had he had 1 match maybe this year so far, but we haven't really seen much of him for the Springboks. I think he had 1 match, maybe not even 1 match so far this year. But he comes in at 14 test caps, 27 years of age, 188 centimeters and 136 kilos. He might play that second test against Wales actually. But correct me if I'm wrong. I think he played that test there. And he does play tight head prop mostly, and he will be most likely an injury reserve coming off at some point. Vincent Koch is the best number 18, the finisher tight head prop in the world right now, and he's currently unemployed. So whichever club picks him up will be incredibly valuable addition to any club that's going to be able to secure the signature of Vincent Koch. He played for the Wasps, and the Wasps obviously as of last week went bankrupt. So Vincent Koch is actually left without a job at the moment, but he's 38 years of age, 38 test caps, 32 years of age, 186 kilograms and 186 centimeters tall and 125 kilograms. He is absolutely one of those guys that comes onto the field and finishes the game for the Springboks. He is an absolute devastating scrummager, devastating liner, liner executioner. And that more platform that he sets up for the Springboks to finish off with that dominance forward pack. He's absolutely instrumental for that Springbok strategy. So that number 18 jersey is not a knock. He's just that good as a finisher for the Springboks to bring off the bench. And number 18 jersey, Vincent Koch, huge man, huge game against a huge important piece of the puzzle for the Springboks if they want to win this November. Malcolm Marx, he's coming in at 55 test caps, 28 years of age, 188 centimeters, 119 kilos. Most people consider him as the best hooker in the world. He has played tremendously well for the Springboks at the starting position, number 2 in the Rugby Championship due to Bungi Banabi being injured. But most likely, Rassi Erasmus and Jackson Ninamba will have him coming off the bench as that crucial bomb squad finishing strategy for the Springboks to bring that stability, to bring that extra bit of speed and just energy off the bench. And he's, best finisher, no knock to this guy, best finisher in the world in that number 16 jersey. Most likely, the starting player for the Springboks will be Bungi Banabi. He is 59 test caps, 31 years of age, 186 centimeters tall, and 108 kilograms. And he had a bit of injury, so we shall see how that may or may not affect him, but I think he is absolutely spectacular for the Springboks. He's shown a bit of running game that we haven't seen before in recent times, so hopefully we'll get to see a bit more of that in this November International Test Series. So coming in for the locks for the Springboks, also the Springboks has additional hooker reserves in the form of Dion Fury. We'll talk about him in a minute. So coming in for the locks, we have Lou Diacha, comes in number 5, and he's 64 centimeters, 64 test caps, 29 years of age, 206 centimeters tall, 125 kilograms. He's basically, yeah, the probably the best number 5 in the world in that lock position. He is not as clinical as Ibn Esbeth, so he still has a lot of room for improvement. But in terms of the basic stuff that he does in setting up a more line-out jumps, works around the park, he ticks all the boxes for a world-class number 5, but still has a little room for improvement, especially when it comes to lineouts. He is not as clinical as Ibn Esbeth, so yeah, definitely still has room to improve, despite already considering probably one of the best locks in the world, if not that number 5, yeah, probably already one of the best locks in the world, despite that little bit of criticism about him that I have. Obviously, the best lock in the world and probably the best player in the Springboks team, Ibn Esbeth. Yeah, this man is absolutely tremendous for the Springboks. He does not get a break. He is always on the field. Every game he will play. The 4-pack, everybody in the 4-pack can be replaced except for Ibn Esbeth. That's the truth. He is just that good, just that important for the Springboks. He brings that leadership, he brings that energy, he brings that experience, and he has that championship quality that not many players have. When the game gets tough, when somebody needs to step up, Ibn Esbeth is the man that leads the pack, steps up, and brings the next level for his team. And yeah, just don't, the only thing about Ibn Esbeth is he's not good at winning fights. So yeah, just please don't fight anybody, Ibn. Don't want to see you get your ass whipped again. Other than that, in terms of rugby, he is absolutely the best of the best in the world, especially in that lock position. I can't say anything more about this guy. He's just that damn good. He's 87 test caps, 31 years of age, 203 centimeters tall, and 122 kilograms. In the reserves for the locks, we have Marvin Ori, most likely going to be coming off the bench at the number 20 jersey, potentially as a finisher. He has 9 test caps, 29 years of age, 198 centimeters, 112 kilograms. Salman Morat comes in as another potential for the number 20 jersey coming off the bench. He has 2 test caps, 24 years of age, 200 centimeters, 120 kilograms. A new addition to the Springbok team, Jason Jenkins, who last played for the Springboks, I think in 2018. So he's had 1 test cap for the Springboks in the past, but he's been recalled into the squad as an additional injury cover, most likely for the lock position. He has 1 test cap, 26 years of age, 203 centimeters, and 125 kilograms. Now, the loose forwards, this is where the Springboks brings in a lot of the pain, a lot of that bomb squad speed, everything you need for the Springboks 4-pack. The loose forwards here is at the disposal of the coaches. So they literally have a specialized players for almost every situation that is required for the 4-pack, for loose forward. So let's first start. We have Pieter-Steph du Toit, most likely going to be the number 7 jersey, which is actually the blindside flanker position. So he most likely will also double up as like a lock almost for the Springboks. He's 65 test caps, 30 years of age, 200 centimeters tall, 115 kilograms. Pieter-Steph du Toit is specialized in the ruck defense, ruck breakdown area for in close range defensive area for the Springboks. He just hovers around the rucks, just being a nonsense around the rocks. He will protect the box kick. He just assert himself in that space, and that is his specialty. So here's the specialty rock guy for the Springboks. Siya Kolisi is the captain for the Springbok team. Comes in at number 6 jersey. It's that open side flanker position for the Springboks team. He has 71 test caps, 31 years of age, 187 centimeters, and 106 kilograms. Siya Kolisi is a more traditional style of flanker. He will run the ball. He will move himself around the park, try to sniff out a breakdown opportunity. More like like your typical style of breakdown specialist with a lot of speed, a lot of really high work rate around the park, and just do that a lot of the basic stuff to set up the opportunity for his backline to create that opportunity for the backline. So he's that traditional starter number 7, but in that number 6 jersey for the Springboks. So that's his specialty. Now let's look at these other guys. So Huaga Smith most likely will be coming off the bench. He is also a very traditional style of number 7. He will be going around the park, and then he will be just fighting that breakdown. But the difference between Wildkard Smith and Siya Kolisi is Wildkard Smith really fast. He's probably like the fastest flanker in the Springbok team. So he used to play 7s. So he brings that speed to the breakdown, and he's really like the counter-racking ability. He really brings that into the team. Whereas Siya Kolisi also plays more of a support role, like a ball runner for the Springboks, whereas Wildkard Smith is exclusively almost to target that breakdown, to try to win over that breakdown from the opposition ball. That's basically he's assigned to do. So sometimes we see the Springboks put him on early in the game. If they feel like the breakdown is a bit slow, they literally would sub him on like 20 minutes, 30 minutes into the game to bring that extra bit of a speed into the loose forwards. So he's the speedster for the Springboks. Breakdown speed is his specialty. Jasper Wiese is another specialist in the Springbok backline. Back rowers. So his specialty is the high ball chase. So he hovers around the racket a little bit, despite being number 8. But his specialty is to chase down the box kick, and he will get there. And he's really, really good on the high ball. He's almost as good as a world-class fullback at gathering those high balls. He's absolute. He's got speed, he's got size, and just that ability to jump and take that high ball. It's just an absolute nightmare to deal with, for the defensive team. So that's his specialty, is attacking high ball chaser. Jasper Wiese most likely will be that number 8 jersey, 18 test cap, 28 years of age, 189 centimeters, and 110 kilograms. Finally, everybody's dream has come true. Evan Roos, URC Player of the Year for South Africans. Last year, had 1 test cap. This year, everybody thought he should have had more time in the Rugby Championships. He wasn't selected for the Rugby Championship. He played 1 test against Wales. 22 years of age, 192 centimeters, and 108 kilograms. He is really, really good for how young he is. He has hit, fundamentally, he has a lot of the he does a lot of the fundamental stuff really, really well. Just basic stuff, passing, creating space as a number 8, as a ball carrier, and then just hard work, high work rate around the park at the breakdowns, and just doing that basic stuff right in the lineouts as well, setting up the maul. Just very, very good fundamentals, and really good to see him finally get some more game time for the Springboks. But he's up against Marco van Staden potentially for a jersey, or even that 21 jersey. Marco van Staden played last year for the Springboks, I think in the Lions test. He definitely played in Lions test. I'm not sure if he played any more than that after the Lions test, but he's had a bit of a break now. He's back in the Springboks fold. He'll most likely be an injury cover, and he was part of the team that beat the British and Irish Lions last year, something that you can't really take away from him. 9 test caps, 27 years of age, 184 centimeters, 108 kilograms. He and Wiese was kind of like battling out the number 8 jersey last year, and Wiese eventually kind of like secured that spot for the Springboks. Utility forwards, these are the forwards that can play multiple positions. So first up, Franco Mostert. I think his traditional position is actually a lock, but for the Springboks, he always plays a reserved flanker for the number 7 jersey. So reserve blindside flanker is the most position that he plays, but he's also specialized in a lock position as well. So yeah, really just having that extra option coming off the bench as part of the bomb squad allows Rassi to shuffle around the locks a little bit. If Diaga is having a bad day, we can see our Mostert going into the number 5 spot for the Springboks early in the game. 59 test caps, 31 years of age, 198 centimeters, 112 kilograms. And finally, the last forward in the team, not least, Dion Fury. He is actually like a groundbreaking kind of selection for the Springboks. And in fact, this is something that I don't think has ever done before in the history of rugby. He is, technically selected as a loose forward cover. So he's selected as a flanker, essentially. But he also specializes as a hooker. So he's literally the third hooker for the Springboks. But if he covers hooker, but if he is put onto the field, they will put him on flanker. So he will take the number 16 jersey, which is the hooker position, alongside the two props. But if they put him on the field, he'll actually go on as a flanker. Yeah. So when they play Dion Fury, he actually allows the Springboks to play three backs instead of the bomb squad with bomb squad with 6 forwards and 2 backs. They can actually play the traditional style of 5 forwards and 3 backs and have Dion Fury go on as a flanker. Yeah, this is something that has never been done before. So they're technically still playing the bomb squad with additional flankers on the field for that speed and for that speed and physicality they wanted to bring. But they're not actually wasting or using up one of the needed substitutions for the backs for it. So you can still have backs. You can still have a number 9, a number 10 reserve, and like a number 15 utility back reserve as well. Just because the fact that Dion Fury can play a hooker. So this is something that's groundbreaking. I've never seen this before, and this could be a strategy that the Springboks employ to win the Rugby World Cup, because it allows them to. It's just so brilliant. Some of the stuff that Rassie Erasmus has come up with. It allows the Springboks to play the bomb squad without having to play the extra forward. Basically, it's just so brilliant how they come up with this. But Dion Fury, 2 test caps, 35 years of age, 117 centimeters and 100 kilograms. He has had a stellar season for the Stormers, and his rewarded debut for the Springboks at 35 years of age, and he's a absolutely critical piece of the puzzle for the Springboks going into the Rugby World Cup. So yeah, that's Dion Fury and how important this guy is to the Springbok team. Let's have a look at the backs. So first up, the scrum half, we got Faf de Klerk coming in. 42 test caps, 31 years of age, 173 centimeters and 88 kilograms. He has been less favorite now, has fallen out of the favorite as a starting number 9 for the Springboks. He's been moved to the bench for most of the games in favor of Jaden Hendrickse, just because his accuracy sometimes is a little bit off this year. Other than that, Faf de Klerk has always been tremendous performer for the Springboks, good under pressure, sometimes he seems to fall into that auto kicking mode, but regardless of your criticism, Faf de Klerk has done really well for the Springboks over the years. Jaden Hendrickse is the current favorite person to be in the number 9 jersey, 10 test caps, 22 years of age, 184 centimeters and 87 test caps. He seems to be the styles that he played with Faf is very similar, but he seems to just kick a little bit less, essentially. Very accurate, a lot of speed around the park, really quick, getting to the breakdowns, and the fact that he's selected over Faf de Klerk on a consistent basis shows you how talented this guy is for the Springboks. Kobus Reinach is the cover for the number 9s, and he's 22 test caps, 32 years of age, 175 centimeters and 85 kilograms. I don't think he has played since last year for the Springboks, so he hasn't played at all this year, so we shall see if he gets a chance to run. At the 5'8 position, the Springboks has a lot of injuries, so the Springboks 5'8 is looking a little bit thin. Manny Lebok gets caught up into the fold. I think he plays for the Stormers. He's potentially going to be debuting. We shall see whether or not he actually gets a debut, or maybe he come off the bench. He's 25 years of age, 179 centimeters and 80 kilograms. Most likely person to be the starting number 10 is the greatest player in the history of the Springboks, Damian Willemse. Damian Willemse is basically Dion Fury for the backline for the Springboks. He covers every position in the Springbok backline. So some of you guys think that it's a joke when I say he's the greatest player in the Springboks history. Just the amount of position that the versatility that he brings to the Springboks absolutely enables the Springboks to play only 2 back substitutions. He is so important to the Springboks team. You actually don't. Yeah, it's difficult to comprehend. If Damian Willemse is not in the team, if he's injured, the Springboks is forced to play 3 back substitutions, whether they like it or not. But now I guess now the fact that they have Dion Fury, they can actually just play 3 backs and have Dion Fury come on as a flanker anyway. And if something happened to the hooker, he can just go into the hooker position, like injury to the hooker. But not likely. But yeah, still without Damian Willemse, it's the 8 the 8 back reserves will have to be locked in with 3 the 8 reserves will have to be locked in with 3 backline reserves instead of just 2, because Valemsa covers every position in the backline, obviously, except the scrum half. So he's that important, and he's so talented. He's one of the best fullbacks in the world, one of the best centers for the Springboks, and he's starting to show that ability as a 10, a world-class 10 for the Springboks as well. His kicking game is really good. His attacking ability to identify spends is really good. Just the fact that he plays so many different positions, he can identify a lot of opportunities that that he kind of learns from playing the other positions as well. So that's just how talented this guy is. And yeah, the sky's the limit for him, and I look forward to seeing him play as number 10. So again, in the center position for the Springboks, Damien Dialendi comes in number 12, the most likely inside center for the Springboks. He's tremendous for the Springboks over the years, just physical, energy. And I've noticed that in recent times, he looked like he's been like trimmed down a little bit as well. He looked a lot like, a lot more like ripped than he was last year. So it seems that he probably, built a bit more like lean mass than he was last year. Let me know if you noticed that as well. He looked a lot leaner on the field these days. Yeah, 70 test caps, 30 years of age, 191 centimeters and 109 kilograms. So last year he was criticized a little bit for being a bit slow, and it looked like, yeah, maybe he's trimmed down a bit this year to silence his critics, which is really, really good to see. Jesse Crew comes in most likely in the outside center position as Lukamio Am is still injured. He's 54 test caps, 28 years of age, 186 centimeters and 96 kilograms. So Jesse Crew also plays he also like played a lot of winger last year for the Springboks, and he's been like trained to pressure the high ball. So as an outside center, it's very likely to see him also playing in a chasing pressure role under the high ball for the kicking game as well. So yeah, that's the kind of that's a really interesting piece of puzzle that falls into the Springbok strategy as well. Andre Esterhuizen most likely might get a spot on the bench. Most likely just going to be an injury cover for the centers. I'm still waiting for the day they make him a lock so they can play like seven forwards in the bench. But hey, maybe one day that'll happen. But Andre Esterhuizen comes in 10 test caps, 28 years of age, 191 centimeters and 115 kilograms. Outside backs, we've got Willie Leroux most likely at the fullback position. He's actually got a lot better this year than last year, to be really frank. After all the criticism he received, but he does have sometimes he does have off days, and but regardless, he's one of the most consistent performers for the Springboks over the years. The veterans on the field, 71 test caps, 33 years of age, 186 centimeters tall, 90 kilograms. On the 11 jersey, most likely it's going to be Makazole Mapimpi, the most devastating winger in the world at the moment. 33 test caps, 32 years of age, 187 centimeters and 91 kilograms. He's also the specialized person under the high ball as well. Sometimes the Springboks, he doesn't. The one criticism for the Springboks attack is he's so good at running and attacking the ball. Sometimes the Springboks just don't give him the opportunity. They tend to, try to kick the ball a bit too much to utilize him fully. I do feel like when he gets the ball, he's so devastating. His strike rate for scoring tries is so high. I really want to see maybe the Springboks try, utilize him a little bit as a runner instead of just the ball chaser. Subu Nkosi as another guy who hasn't played for the Springboks since last year. He's back into the fold. I know a lot of you guys are really excited to see him. There was a lot of talk about him last year, potentially coming in as a cover for the injured Cheslin Kobe at the time. He had a couple games in that wing jersey, but yeah, good to see him back and getting another opportunity for the Springboks. I think he was supposed to play the November test last year, but he couldn't get a visa to travel to Europe, so Jesse Krill was filled in on the wing position. But yeah, Subu Nkosi finally gets to travel for the team coming up this weekend. 16 test caps, 26 years of age, 181 centimeters and 97 kilograms. Finally, in the utility backs, Cheslin Kobe came back from a broken jaw injury, so he's back. Most likely going to be under the 14 jersey. 21 test caps, 29 years of age, 171 centimeters and 80 kilograms. He is probably one of the smallest players in the world, and yet he's the most agile player in the history of rugby. He's so quick. His footwork is absolutely out of this world. He's the only one of the very, very, very few players in the world that can create opportunities, create space out of nothing. You know, every other player, you need your teammates to help you create some space, and then, you know, maybe you can make a break. He's the only one who doesn't require anybody helping him. He can get the ball anywhere on the field, and he can score. That is just how good he is, how fast he is. We've seen this against England in the Rugby World Cup. We've seen it again and again over the years, and he's just that good. He also doubles up as a cover for 5'8" and potentially the scrum half, and he covers pretty much every back position except for centers, I believe. So Cheslin Covey is the utility back, and also he is the guy that gets the high ball for the Springboks. Yes, despite the fact that he's 171 centimeters tall, he's so good. He's the guy that is like the highest recovery rate for the Springboks with the high ball strategies. So that tells you something, how much of an athletic freak that this guy is. Curly Allensa gets selected for the team, most likely going to be in the 23 jersey. 3 test caps, 26 years of age, 180 centimeters, 84 kilograms. He really impressed the selectors following his performance against I think it was New Zealand. He did get a red card for taking a Bowden, but he really did have a very impressive test match leading up to the point before he had a red card. So I was very impressed, and it's good to see that he gets another opportunity to play for the Springboks. He already has some couple more games against he did have a couple more games against Argentina already. But yeah, it'll be good to see him have some more game time. Finally, another debutant for the Springboks is Sacha Mngomezulu. Mngomezulu. Sacha Mngomezulu comes in at the final utility cover, debuting at 20 years of age, potentially 185 centimeters and 90 kilograms. He's actually a utility cover for potentially for 10, and I think for the winger as well. But yeah, my understanding that he plays the 10 jersey. Yeah, he is listed as a utility cover, so most likely he'll cover the 10 and potentially the winger positions. So that is the Springbok squad. Let me know your thoughts on any of the players and selections. Keep in mind the Springboks do have a B team. A lot of the players that are not selected is in the B team. What is it? What's his name? Herschel Yangshi's is in the B team, for example, and there's a few players in the B team instead of in the starting team. So if there's injury, they will be able to call up some of the players from the B team to cover as well. And I think what's his name, Smith. What was his first name? There's a few players in the B team that could be called up to cover some of these key positions that the Springboks are struggling with the injuries at the moment. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day, and see you guys next week for the previews. Cheers.